We've had patients who started with a tremendous level of anxiety. And when I say tremendous, I'm talking about it impedes their quality of life so dramatically that they literally can't function on a level where they can even hide their anxiety. I mean, you take a look at the person and you see that they're falling apart inside, and it's very sad to see. And we know that this therapy is going to help and change your life for the better. The problem is that they're so anxious about everything that starting something like this that may seem controversial when you look at the media stigma around it, and you read some of the nonsense online that comes from mostly the incorrect usage or the bodybuilding world, and you're reading side effects. This only compounds the effects of anxiety. The problem is that when guys start aggressive, and we all know there's a lot of places that'll start guys at 200 milligrams a week, an anastrozole. I mean, they're crushing their estrogen, they're quadrupling their T out of the gate, their free T's shooting up. This causes severe anxiety as well. So as much as low T can induce anxiety, high free T to guys who don't have that, basis of an alpha personality, because not everybody is that go-getter, aggressive alpha male. Not all of us had T levels in the 1500s when we were 22 years old. Some guys have always been in the 300, 400 range, even when they were younger. You take a guy like that and you're going to give him a free T of 40 or 50, and he's going to be crawling out of his skin. He's going to be waking up with night sweats. He's going to be anxious. He's going to be angry. So there's a big risk of overdosing a guy just as much as there is underdosing. The good thing about underdosing, which I don't like to use that term because it's negative, I would say slowly titrating up, or essentially dosing in a more conservative fashion when we start, is that we happen to think of optimizing TRT as a staircase. If the top of that landing of the staircase is essentially euphoria, right? This is where we want to be. We want to be at that landing. But we're at the bottom of the staircase today. We can throw you or catapult you up to the top of the stairs. And if you land on both feet, that's great. The risk is that you're going to come tumbling back down. And not only do we have to start over, but now we're starting with some level of damage or injury. We have to chase away the side effects and re-earn that trust and re-earn the confidence and alleviate the level of anxiety from the failed attempt. I think it's a much safer approach to climb the stairway safely and efficiently, even if it takes a little longer to get to the top, because if we put one foot forward and come up and we feel okay, and we put another foot forward and we come to the next step and we feel okay, we're going to get to that top of the landing. And when we get there, we're going to be unscathed, we're going to be happy, and we're going to be able to hit that pause button and sit there for the rest of our life, presumably with some guidance, and not ever run the risk of crashing back down because we started too aggressively. So often guys will come in and they'll say, well, why are we starting on this dose and why are we doing this? And the answer is, we'll see you in a couple of weeks anyway. We'll have a follow-up. And that's our opportunity to see how you respond to the medication, both on paper as well as your subjective assessment of how you feel. And we can always bump you up. The risk of going too aggressive too soon, I think, for something that is this important and is designed to be a lifelong journey of improvement, is just too great. So I'm always a fan of minimal effective dosing and medications, finding symptom resolution, and then again, you always have an opportunity to improve.
Is there a certain level of free testosterone in the blood that most guys feel good on?
Yeah, there is. And again, this is purely anecdotal because, as we know, numbers are simply there to keep you honest and make sure that you're not causing damage in the long term. The last thing we want to do is, knock 10 years off the back end for quality today. If we can give you a quality of life and extend your life, or at the very least not shorten it, then we're winning. But there is, a group, I would say, that you would say the majority fall into. Most guys tend to find symptom resolution when their free testosterone lands between 25 to 35 nanograms per deciliter. Again, this is a very basic general rule. I don't like to stick to numbers, but again, there are guys that like to be at 45, 50 and they have no pathological side effects, and that's great. There are guys that suffer great anxiety at 50. There are guys that feel great at 19 or 20. For the most part, if I had to take all of the thousands of guys that we have experienced this with and put them in, I would say knock out the outliers on the high side and knock out the outliers on the low side. You're going to find 25 to 35 nanograms per deciliter. Tends to be a fairly sweet spot for most men.
Okay, great.